This is a Wave breaking news alert.
We start the 5 o'clock news with a breaking news alert. New evidence in a southern Indiana murder investigation has led police to dismiss charges against a Louisville man arrested in that case. The Jefferson County, Indiana Sheriff's Office dropped the charges against Sean Bailey after he was accused of murdering 35-year-old Wilma Robertson in Hanover. Police say new DNA analysis excludes him as a suspect. Police have now arrested Nigel Thomas of Oxford, Ohio in the case. Police say that Thomas, who goes by the name Natty Bang, stabbed Wilma Robertson in her home. The investigation revealed that Thomas framed Bailey for her death by creating several fake social media accounts and then admitting to the crime. Thomas was arrested on Friday, the same day Bailey was released from jail after being locked up for 10 days.
Well, Derby Week is now upon us. Tens of thousands of people are preparing to visit Louisville ahead of the 151st running of the Kentucky Oaks and Derby. We want to thank you for kicking off your Derby Week with us. This is Wave News at 5. I'm Brian Schlonsky.
And I'm Myra Ansari. The Derby excitement is high as we are just days away from Oaks and Derby, and the forecast top of mind for a lot of folks. Let's head straight over to Chief Meteorologist Kevin Harden.
Hey there, guys. We're looking at temperatures around the area, and you see the great lawn there for the Festiville. In the 80s, we're at 85. This ties the highest we've been so far this year. Had it 2 other days, so this would be 3 days. We could still hit 86 before the day is up. All of us are in the upper 70s to low 80s. Winds are coming up out of the south, combining with that sunshine to warm us up. Severe weather breaking out across the southern part of Minnesota, including a tornado warning not far from Minneapolis. Our forecast is much calmer for now. That changes in the days to come. This evening, we're clear in the 70s. We'll drop into the upper 60s by morning. Increasing clouds overnight tonight, and there is a small rain chance early tomorrow. However, the better chance for showers and thunderstorms will come in the afternoon tomorrow, and then again on Wednesday and Thursday, all 3 days, alert days. There's a risk of severe weather each day. We're going to talk about that along with the Oaks and Derby forecast in our 10-day earliest alert coming up in just about 15 minutes.
Good deal, Kevin. We'll see you then. All right, we know that Derby excitement is in the air, but if you are going to the Festiville, you got to get ready for a major change, and it starts today. Derby City's Festiville in downtown Louisville was forced to close early on Sunday night after police say a group of teenagers caused chaos at the event.
You may have seen videos online, kids fighting as police try to make arrests. Safety concerns are now forcing festival staff to make some big changes. Wave News reporter Lena Noakes is live downtown with the changes that came down this afternoon.
Yeah, Myra, KDF staff says things have gotten just to that point. They now have to implement a chaperone policy, and all of these barricades that have gone up, people are now going to have to walk through, and they'll have to present an ID to security. If they are a minor and they do not have an adult with them, they won't be able to go in. This comes after there were 4 separate incidents Sunday night where 4 teens were detained, and in one case, police found a gun.
If you're coming down here and you're coming down here just to pick a fight or to cause trouble, don't come.
An unfortunate reality for Louisville's Festiville when trouble is exactly what played out Sunday. A nice spring festival day like this one until it turned ugly.
Right, as soon as it started getting dark, every like 30 minutes. Start a fight.
Festival vendors witnessing it all, forced to close up shop early Sunday night. Jefferson County Sheriff Major Michael Littlefield describing a throng of older kids, more than 100 running around the grounds.
It was just like gut-wrenching, to be honest, because there are a lot of families that bring their kids around here.
But it was unchaperoned kids that officers say caused all the problems. Many taunting one another, some assaulting one another, in one case punching an officer. Others climbing over fences to get inside. And even more troubling, a gun recovered during it all. Nearly 10 incidents in total. A bad situation that's gotten worse this year.
Once it gets to a certain level, we have to address that because we want everybody who comes down here to feel safe. And at that point, our patrons didn't feel safe, our vendors didn't feel safe, and it also impacts our staff and the people here.
Now festival goers will have to do more than check their bags. To get inside after 6 p.m., anyone under 18 will need to be chaperoned by an adult who has to stay with them the entire time. This change one KDF staff didn't want to make, but it's one everyone is hoping makes a difference moving forward.
We're trying to see if it'll be better today. We can put that behind us, keep going.
Now, all 4 of those detained were released to their parents. As for the gun in that case, police have not linked it to any one particular person. Now, KDF staff wants to make sure people know that they are not going to shy away from pressing charges if people were to violate these policies. So please be aware, if you're a minor and you're coming here, you have to have an adult with you going forward. Live in downtown Louisville, Lyndon Oaks, Wave News.
All right, thank you, Alina. It's unfortunate we're having to deal with some of this stuff already, but it comes with the territory. That said, there's a lot of excitement building around Derby Week. The bed races, something that we're watching today.
Yeah, we've got a lot of excitement going on at Broadbent Arena. That's where we find Wave News anchor Jose Zozaya kind of getting things. Oh, look at you, getting the party going. I like that.
Myra, Brian, you can just imagine the party's only getting bigger here just outside Broadbent Arena. Now, if I told you the epitome of cool, if an animal was going to represent that, what do you think? I think it's none other than the cool flamingos from Wellstone Regional Hospital. I've been invited by Tiffany Pierce to just come hang out with the party crew for a bit. So, Tiffany, if I could ask, how do we settle on the pink flamingo theme this time?
Well, honestly, we figured the pink flamingo theme was going to be something rare that any other company would do, but I was proven wrong. But we are the coolest pink flamingos, so.
Well, it feels like it's the pink is going to stand out. How much time did it take for you all to really deck out your bed this year?
Well, we started planning probably 3 weeks ago, honestly, and we just threw everything together this morning because we work best under pressure. So. Yeah.
Now, Jessica, as the CEO, Jessica Campbell, what would you say describes the attitude your team is coming in with today for the races?
Fun and teamwork, for sure.
Have you seen any of these folks race before? Any rookies, any veterans, do you know?
I think this year we have all new crew, so we're excited to see.
So do rookies bring that sort of speed energy that you like?
Absolutely, absolutely.
What does it mean to be a part of the Great Bed Race? I don't know how many years you all have been participating, but what does it mean to be able to participate in this Derby tradition?
Well, we love it because we're part of Kentuckiana, right? We're in southern Indiana, but we love being able to bring everybody together as a team and get out and celebrate it as a team here, too.
All right, I'm going to check in with another part of the team here with Gabby Harvey. Now, Gabby, do you mind if I ask, are you going to be a racer or are you just here to support today?
I'm a racer today.
Okay, what's your strategy coming into the race? What are you thinking you're going to do when it comes time to get up at the starting line?
I'm just going to keep going, don't stop, and make it across the line is the goal.
All right, I hope Wellstone understands, too. There's a bit on the line, guys, because look at the bed that's sitting right next to them. If you recognize those call letters, Wellstone is going to be racing us in the first heat in the fun division this time around. So I guess may the best bed win, guys. And we're going to check in with the Wave team a little bit later at 5:30. For now, we'll send it back to you in the studio, Myra, Brian.
Yeah. To jazz up our bed.
I was going to say, I would say that we're already losing and we haven't even started yet. We will check back in with Jose at the tailgate in our next half hour. Maybe he can put some work in there on our bed. The
some balloons or something on it.
The teams are going to get prepared for the parade of beds at 6. Our live coverage of the bed races gets going at 7. So if you're heading down to Broadbent Arena, you can get in free if you have your 2025 Pegasus pin. Parking at the Expo Center, $15.
Need some helium balloons on that thing. We'll be sure to watch Wave this week for more Kentucky Derby Festival events. You can watch our coverage of the Great Steamboat Race on Wednesday. The Belle of Louisville is going to face off against the Belle of Cincinnati. Our coverage of the race gets going at 4 p.m. You can watch the floats, the bands, and balloons go down Broadway for our parade special. And you can also watch that Oaks night at 8 p.m. That's followed by our Nights at the Gala special at 9. We're also going to be live at all Derby week at the track for sunrise.
We're also the ones to watch for the 151st running of the Kentucky Oaks and Derby. The Derby is Saturday, of course. The Oaks is Friday. From the Derby contenders to the parties that Myra was mentioning, the fashion trends, everything in between, Wave is your official Kentucky Derby station. You can watch our coverage from wherever you are, too. You can do it on the air, the app, and on our streaming platforms.
Wave News troubleshooters have spent months investigating nearly 24 cease and desist orders that the state sent to limo companies operating around the state.
Well, the bulk are in Louisville. Wave News troubleshooter Mark Stevens is joining us now to explain what he found.
Well, if you're booking a party bus, limo, or other ride for Derby, you may want to double check to ensure your company actually has the proper authority from the state. The Kentucky Kentucky Limo Association says it's tried for years to get the state to take unregistered operators more seriously. Now, the state registrations matter because in order to get one, operators have to prove they meet insurance standards set by the state. Many of the cease and desist letters did not stop companies from operating. In one case, we found the company isn't registered to actually take people for hire. In another, the owner has opened new companies and gotten the proper authority for the first time. The president of the Limo Association warns there are too many companies on the road not complying with the law.
And I see people that I know that are operating illegally, and from day to day, and it's like, well, nothing's being done about it.
State police say they've conducted hundreds of vehicle inspections the past 6 months. The city says they haven't enforced the limo ordinance on the books for decades. In the full investigation at 6, we'll show you our full findings, plus how you can troubleshoot limo companies yourself. Mark Stevens, Wave News.
All right, Mark, we'll see you back here then. In the meantime, an Indiana lawmaker is introducing a bill to tackle abortion funding transparency, what it will require states to report about the funds if it gets passed.
And a number of polls showing President Trump doing unfavorably as his first 100 days in office nears. What Americans say that they want the president to focus on beyond the milestone.
Wave News.
President Trump promised to shake things up in his second term as president, and in his first 100 days, he has changed the federal government.
But with one day before that milestone, his approval rating is what's slipping. These polls could show some serious warning signs for the Trump administration. NBC's Melanie Zanona has those details from Washington.
On the eve of his 100th day in office, Americans weighing in on President Trump's performance. New polls show signs of concern for the administration. His overall approval rating falling in recent months. The NBC News Stay Tuned poll finding only 45% of adults approve of his job performance. But it's not only NBC News. Nearly every recent poll showed the same results.
I won on the fact that we're going to be doing this. We have to be allowed to do it. Otherwise, we're not going to have a country any longer.
Immigration, the president's signature issue, getting the highest rating.
Today, as I'm standing here, we are the most secure border in the history of this nation.
But still more people disapprove of the crackdown. Only 49% back the moves. And today, the administration facing backlash for the way it handled deporting a mother and removing her U.S. citizen children, including a 4-year-old cancer patient. Immigration advocates say he now doesn't have access to his medication.
What we did is remove children with their mothers who requested the children depart with them. This was a parental decision.
While the White House defends the controversial moves, the president also facing scrutiny on the economy and his newly imposed tariffs on adversaries and allies. According to the NBC News poll, only 40% of America approves of the way Trump is handling inflation, and even fewer, 39%, approves of his trade and tariff decisions. President Trump attacking the polls and the people who conducted them, insisting that he is making strides on the economy.
It's all coming down. It's all looking good. The tariffs are strong.
President Trump met with Speaker Mike Johnson at the White House today. This comes as lawmakers are back on Capitol Hill following a 2-week recess where they're planning to work on a tax cut and spending cut package. But questions remain about potential cuts to health care, housing, and education. Melanie Zanona, NBC News, Washington.
The Vatican says the conclave to select Pope Francis's successor will start on May 7th. The date was set after cardinals met behind closed doors following the Pope's funeral on Saturday. The conclave will take place in the Sistine Chapel, and only cardinals under the age of 80 are allowed to vote. If a candidate receives 2/3 of the total vote, he will become the next pope. Once conclave begins, all eyes will be on the chimney above the Sistine Chapel. White smoke means a new pope has been elected. The last 2 conclaves lasted 2 days.
The Kentucky Derby Museum is celebrating 4 decades of telling Derby stories. We're taking a look back at what they have accomplished over the years.
Oh, it's a busy weather week for this Derby week. We've got 3 alert days lined out for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Severe weather chances each of those days. But what about Oaks and Derby? I've got all the details you need in the 10-day earliest alert when we come back.
All right, Derby and all the surrounding events top of mind this week, but maybe on top of that is the weather, because it's got to play ball at least somewhat. And so far,
we've got a couple alert days, Kevin, that are going to put a damper on the week activities, but today is so nice.
Yeah, and look back to the weekend. I mean, we had opening night that went off without a hitch. That was perfect. We had the parade yesterday.
Beautiful.
That was nice. Today is beautiful for the bed races and the tailgating. Wish we were out there. That's always a lot of fun. The next 3 days line up with alert days, though, so you've got to be weather aware, as we say. We do have the opportunity to see severe chances each of those days. Here's sort of our timeline on how we look at this. It's going to be mainly through mid to late afternoon and evening each day that we have the severe chance. If you'll remember the last time we had 3 of these alert days stacked up, it bridged the overnight, and we were here all night long watching these storms for a whole week, it seemed. This one's a little bit different in the sense that we're going to be focused on the heating of the day and the evening hours for the severe opportunity. There is a flooding risk that will come with some of these downpours, and then if we see any stronger, just high winds outside of the individual storms, that would be as we approach Friday morning. All right, so late Thursday into early Friday. That's actually with the front moving closer to us. So that's our timeline as we're looking at it currently. We'll talk about the Oaks and Derby outlook, because at least a little bit of rain has slipped into the Oaks Day forecast. So when we take a look on the big board, you're going to see that chance peaks again late Thursday into early Friday, so that front moves in. If we see those strong winds or any severe, it could be at that point. As we roll through midnight into 6 a.m., there's a small rain chance early on Oaks Day. Then we're going to push it to about a 40% chance during the afternoon, and then take the rain chance down and eventually completely out of the Derby Day forecast. So a little bit of good news, a little bit of bad news there. Let's get outside, take a look from our SkyTrack cameras. This is the Kentucky Mesonet. Temperatures are in the low 80s, lots of sunshine. It's a cloud-free sky for most of us. A few clouds back off to our south and east. For us here in Louisville, we've had mostly sunny skies and very pleasant conditions. All of the actions back out to the west near the cold front, and the warm front is going to be lifting through first. That moves through with a small chance of rain early tomorrow morning for us. We map that out on the future cast. You can see a little blip on the radar early. There is a better chance through the afternoon, and especially during the evening hours. And these individual cells will have the opportunity to become strong, possibly severe, wind, hail, and even an isolated tornado threat. These are rounds of storms that will go through. Not everybody sees the severe weather, but the chance is there as we go through our Tuesday and again on Wednesday and Thursday. That severe weather risk tomorrow is 2 out of 5 from the Storm Prediction Center. That's a slight risk of severe storms again tomorrow, late afternoon through the evening hours for the higher chances. Currently in Louisville, it's 85, feeding off of the sunshine and a strong southerly wind. Tonight stays warm and muggy. We'll go down to 68 for the low. Tomorrow, with the alert day in place, the best timing of that severe storm potential would be between 3 p.m. and midnight. 84, another very warm high temperature for us. And in the 10-day earliest alert, we're at 80 with a storm chance Wednesday. It's not as high as Tuesday or Thursday, but it's still there. Thursday brings in the front. We'll see that temperature of 79. That brings in the chance for showers and storms for Derby. A lot of folks headed to the track. Notice it's a 30% chance at noon, increasing to 40% chance at 3 o'clock, even higher by 6 o'clock, so late afternoon into the evening. And then Friday, that holds another rain chance as mentioned. That's temperatures in the 70s. And you can see we're going to notice the scattered storms really through the afternoon and possibly even into the early evening hours before fading it out with a beautiful Derby day and a pretty nice forecast after that, as it would stand.
Go ahead and get that poncho.
Yeah, you're going to need it if you're headed out to the track this week at times. So we'll be tracking the storms, and we'll be giving frequent updates, and that's why the Wave Weather app's always handy.
Yeah, no umbrellas at the track, too.
Yeah, good to remember. It's part of the deal. Thanks, Kevin. All right, well, the Kentucky Derby Museum celebrating 40 years since it opened its doors. The museum has dedicated the last 4 decades to preserving and celebrating the history of the Kentucky Derby. Since opening in 1985, they've welcomed more than 7 million guests to experience the stories, fashion, and the events that all highlight the run for the roses. The Derby Museum will begin a new strategic planning process following Derby 151. Officials are working to expand their impact, reach new audiences, and foster even deeper community engagement.
What happens to the world's top thoroughbreds once they have run for the roses? We're going to take you to one Prospect farm taking care of retired racehorses next. Wave is your official Derby station, and we're committed to bringing you unique stories from around Louisville leading up to the big race. And when it comes to the horses, the racing careers are actually very short.
Yeah, so when they leave behind the silks, the saddles, the trainers, and the jockeys, well, what does the rest of life look like for a thoroughbred? I headed out to Prospect to find out.
When they come here and they're retired, their job is to eat grass all day. Their job is to hang out with their friends, their pasture mates.
Put simply, life is good for the retired thoroughbreds living out their days at Chestnut Hall.
So their life is pretty relaxed and quiet and easy and worry-free.
10 horses on 25 acres off US 42 in Prospect, all with the backdrop of a historic 1860s home. This place has lived a lot of lives in the past 160 years, everything from tobacco and cattle production to simply being a single-family home. That's personally how I know it best. I even had family living here at one point during the property's long history that's now dedicated to Kentucky's most iconic animal. Some have won hundreds of thousands of dollars, others a lot less. And just because you were successful out on the track doesn't mean you're top dog out here. The team says Shuffling Kid is at the bottom of the totem pole.
It's fun to just kind of see the different personalities and who gets along with who.
This farm is one of 14 across the country, part of the Thoroughbred Retirement Foundation. They even have a prison program where inmates learn to care for the horses. The mission? Give thoroughbreds who can no longer compete on the racetrack a life free of neglect, abuse, and slaughter. Sadly, those horrors can happen, especially with buyers who don't realize the responsibility and the cost of caring for these animals long term.
The racetrack lifespan is pretty short for the average horse, and then there's so many more years for their life after that.
There are 425 horses at TRF's farms. The average age is 23, and caring for them is a big and expensive task. The average cost to keep a thoroughbred alive is at least $75,000. You have to have everything from feed to hay to medical bills, prices that have only increased with inflation. But for TRF, the love is worth every penny.
Giving these amazing animals a place to land and spend the rest of their life knowing that they're going to be cared for.
So another thing that's so cool about Chestnut Hall and the Thoroughbred Retirement Foundation is that they offer tours, they host field trips, they even hold events there. But they also need our help with donations and volunteers, so if you'd like to either book a tour or donate to their cause, you can find all of that information, how to do all of it, on trfinc.org.
We are live here at the tailgate party getting ready for the Great Bed races. I want to show you just how it is all pink, all 80s, and coming up next we're going to check in with one of the teams hoping to capitalize on what's been a great afternoon so far.
Now, Wave News at 5.
The tailgating ahead of tonight's bed races is happening right now outside of Broadbent Arena.
A lot happening. Wave News anchor Jose Zozaya is live at the Kentucky Expo Center where he's catching up with teams before they race, including our Wave News team that's racing.
That's right, Myra, Brian. The party here is only just growing, and while it is nice to make some brand new friends, I can't tell you how exciting it is to run into some familiar faces who are going to get us ready for the big event starting at 7. And who would that be other than our Wave Sports Director, Kendrick Haskins? Kendrick, describe the vibe of the party so far for you.
I love the 80s theme out here. Like you said, you like the Miami Vice, and brings you home.
They're rocking their pastel jackets, the blues, flamingos, as far as the eye can see, Kendrick.
And a lot of different music out here from different genres, different eras. But it's been very fun out here. But you know, there's a big race coming up here soon that everybody's here to see. just 6 days away from the Kentucky Derby 151, well, 5 days away from the Run for the Roses. Grabbing everybody's attention this morning on the backside was the blazing workout by Bob Baffert, trained contender Citizen Bull. His work was the fastest of 15 contenders at 5 furlongs at 58.4. In case you don't know, that's fast. Also on the track is the latest entry into the race, Neo Equos. He's finished third in his last 2 races, the Fountain of Youth and the Florida Derby. Neo Equos is a long shot. Safi Joseph has been on both sides of having the favorite and the long shot. He says the pressure is still the same.
It's a little bit different.
For the Derby, it's always pressure, but it is. Yeah, you would say it's different. I mean, we brought White Abari here a couple of years ago, and he was probably our best chance we brought, and he didn't run good. He got White tripped the whole way around, and he didn't show up. So that's why we're not scared to bring a horse like him that's trying to run it well, because we brought better, and they haven't showed up.
Yeah, White Avario finished in 16th in that Kentucky Derby. So hopefully for Safi Joseph, he can finish a little bit better come Saturday.
And, time to prepare. I know the clock is counting down, but you can fine-tune all these things in the time you have, right, Kendrick?
Oh, yeah. That's what this final week is for, is getting there, healthy, but also fine-tuning some things.
I was going to say, in horse racing, it really does take a team. I would be remiss if we don't have the cameraman also check out our team getting ready for the races tonight at 7 o'clock.
They showed
Say hi to the camera, guys. Those are very familiar faces, and part of that is also getting rested, fueled up, and hydrated, I'd say, Kendrick.
Yeah, there's plenty of food to be found, as Kenny just found some, along with the Gatorade. And let the record show this was not provided by Wave, so I don't know where he found such food.
No, we've made new friends. That is why I said you make new friends here tailgating at the Great Bed Races.
And Dusty Baker and I, once again for the 3rd year in a row, have the pleasure of calling the bed races. It's very fun out there. You can hear us both on Wave, and you can hear us in the arena, so whatever jokes we made, everybody's going to hear them.
I'm going to be listening to them, too, because I'm going to be with you in the middle of the action in the arena, Kendrick.
It's always a fun time out there, and make sure you stay out of the way.
All right, we'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
I'm going to say out of our team, I think Kirsten and Marissa are probably the fastest.
They had like 80% of the team had the shades on. It's like Miami Vice down there. Kevin, I guess today's the day. If you're going to do it, if you're going to bring the sunglasses out, do it on a non-alert day.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, today is the day to be out there for sure. The next several days, not so nice, at least especially late afternoon into the evening hours. Hey, the Festiville's been up and rolling. Temperatures in the mid-80s. Not a bad day to be there either. We are under a mainly clear sky. Just a few of those fair weather cumulus clouds across parts of Kentucky. Louisville clear, southern Indiana clear. We see no rain around the region. But as you look back to the west, you can see the fronts that we're tracking. Out ahead of the cold front, severe weather with severe thunderstorm and tornado warnings across parts of Minnesota. That's well away from us. Our rain chances will be going up tomorrow, and so will the chance for severe storms, which is why we have alert days in place for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Meanwhile, enjoy this evening with that temperature stretch in the 70s, dropping into the 60s by early tomorrow. More details on those alert days and your Oaks and Derby Day forecast coming up from the Weather Garden in just a few minutes.
See you then. Thanks, Kevin. LMPD has named the officer and the man wounded after a police shooting in the Camp Taylor neighborhood. That shooting happened around 10:30 on Saturday night. It was on Lincoln Avenue. LMPD says officers were called out to that location about a man who was argumentative and intoxicated and had fired a shot into the floor. When police got there, they found 55-year-old Daniel Gish holding a gun to his head. A media release says Officer Christopher Pedigo told Gish to drop the gun before shooting him in the arm. This is the man who police say had that gun. Gish was taken to the hospital. He is expected to be okay. Just this afternoon, police said that Gish was still in the hospital with charges pending. Body camera footage is expected to be released in the next couple of weeks.
An Indiana representative is introducing a new bill that seeks to address transparency in abortion funds. Representative Aaron Houchin has introduced the Abortion Funding Awareness Act. The legislation seeks to examine how states are using Medicaid funds in connection with abortion providers like Planned Parenthood. It would require states to report all Medicaid payments made to abortion providers, submit annual reports detailing those transactions, and publish this information on their official state websites for the public to see.
There's dozens of ways to party for the Kentucky Oaks and Derby this year. We are going to tell you which celebrities are coming to town for this year's Barnstable Brown Gala.
And one restaurant in the shadows of the Twin Spires is welcoming lots of race fans this week. How Wagner's is preparing for the influx of guests coming into town.
This newscast is sponsored by Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. Now, Wave News.
Well, Derby week is here and excitement is building for the greatest 2 minutes in sports. We're happy about it.
We are. You can't make us stop at Churchill Downs. And we're happy about the food, too, without fueling up at one of Louisville's most iconic restaurants. Wave News reporter Kirsten Foote has more on the pre-Derby rush at Wagner's.
All right, imagine this. You spend your morning at Dawn at the Downs watching the Oaks and Derby contenders exercising, going right past you. Now you're hungry. Where are you going to go? Wagner's.
The food, the camaraderie that we have with all of our friends, and it's become a tradition for us each year.
Kim Hall is a Wagner's regular.
We've been to Dawn at the Downs, and we've been, how many days in a row? 5 now, or six days, and we always come here for breakfast.
She brings along an entire crew who she met years ago at Dawn at the Downs. Judy Crush is one of those friends. Their memories go way back.
When American Pharoah worked out on the track, he glided across it. It was not like any other horse I've ever seen be on the track there, and it was just so memorable.
And there's only one place to recap it all.
When you come here to Wagner's afterwards, it just solidifies it, gives you a chance to talk Derby a little bit more.
And you never know who you might run into there. Jockeys, owners, trainers. It's a behind-the-scenes look at the Derby like no other.
You're a part of the history itself, you know, and so everybody wants to be here. And so it's the place that you bring someone if they haven't the first time. You've been to Wagner's, you're going to come to Wagner's afterwards. That's just what you're going to do. That's part of it.
And on this trip to the fabled restaurant, we met some first-timers ready to make their own memories.
We didn't come for the food. We just came to, we wanted the Wagner experience.
In the days leading up to the Kentucky Derby, it's all hands on deck to handle the crowds of both regulars and newcomers.
Extra walk-in coolers, freezers that we bring in at both places, and it's stocked. I mean, we've got stuff everywhere.
New or old customer, everyone is welcome at Wagner's.
Yes, it's a special vibe. It's like Cheers. Before you leave, you're going to have met somebody, and you're going to know their name.
Kirsten Foote, Wave News.
It's her tradition. Well, Beyonce is opening her Cowboy Carter tour tonight, but a ticket is going to cost you. How you may be able to save on concerts this summer coming up next.
Oh, we've got 3 alert days we've got to talk about in the 10-day earliest alert. We'll do it from the Weather Garden. Specifically, we're looking at Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, but that doesn't mean Friday and Saturday are totally out of the woods. We've got your Oaks and Derby outlooks, too, when we come back.
Well, Kevin, today is a day to enjoy. It's so nice outside because the next couple of days are going to be a little tricky for us.
Get in the way of some plans we have this week in Louisville.
Yeah, and not only has everybody got their eyes on, their plans for Derby Week, the other side's looking at this forecast saying, man, well, what are we going to do? How are we going to make or adjust plans? So let's take it day by day, and we'll be breaking down what you need to know. Obviously, the further out you get in time, the more uncertain the forecast is. It's 88 right now in the Weather Garden. Today is a very warm start to Derby Week. You'll notice those winds out of the south, not as strong in the Weather Garden, but they have been gusty today. We're going to see the combination of those southerly winds and sunshine continue to warm us up. Also blow around that tree pollen, which consequently gives us the tree pollen in the very high range, and that will continue through the rest of the week as well. It's that time of year. Welcome to the Ohio Valley if you're visiting. Allergy capital of the world, it seems like. All right, we've got the alert days in place Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Let's look at Tuesday. Between 3 p.m. and midnight, the time frame where we could see some strong storms. These will be individual cells, multiple rounds of those. Not everybody sees it. The ones that do will be faced with at least the opportunity to see some strong winds, hail, even the isolated tornado threat, and the flash flooding potential with the heavy rain. We're marked in the slight risk of severe weather tomorrow. That's level 2 out of 5 from the Storm Prediction Center. We'll keep a close eye on the radar for you tomorrow. Rain chances ramping up late afternoon on into the evening hours. So So we'll be here to track that for you and keep you up to date with what's going on. We'll have updates not only on the air if we need to break into programming, but we're going to be online a lot this week, both in the mornings and in the evenings. And then, of course, we're on news for a good chunk of the day as well. So you'll be able to find what you need. Let's take a look at these temperatures across the area. We're very warm. 85 in Louisville ties the warmest we've been so far this season. We've hit it 2 other times. There are no clouds around, no rain around. Not yet. That changes by early tomorrow. You can see a few showers with that warm front moving closer. A better chance in the afternoon and evening. These individual storm cells have the potential to be strong, possibly severe. So that's what we'll be watching for Tuesday. Fades away by the time we hit midnight, and that gives us a fresh start for Wednesday. The severe weather risk is that slight risk area for our Tuesday, and then we're going to see a marginal risk for Wednesday. Wednesday likewise shows this area of showers and storms along the warm front moving through. Those clusters of storms could be on the strong side in some places. Again, it bears watching, and that's the reason for the alert day. We're looking at that marginal risk. We get into Thurby, Oaks, and Derby. Thurby brings the front even closer. That means another severe chance, and that's late afternoon and evening on Thursday. The highest rain chances actually ramp up Thursday night into early Friday, and then we'll get that out of here, it looks like, by Derby Day. So when we look at Thurby, Oaks, and Derby, the higher rain chance is going to be late Thursday into very early Friday morning, right around midnight. Then we bring the rain chance down. Does that mean Friday, Oaks Day, is totally dry? No, we still have about a 40% chance. You see that little spike in the afternoon for a few showers and possibly a thunderstorm on Friday. But we do dry it out by Derby Day. So looking at the maps, you'll notice Thurby in the 70s, 40% increasing the rain chance into the evening hours. Oaks Day, scattered chance for a shower or thunder shower in the afternoon, temperatures in the 70s. Derby Day, a little cooler but drier with some sunshine. We're in the upper 60s. Right now it's 85 degrees in Louisville. We're going to drop down tonight into the upper 60s. High temperatures will rebound back into the low 80s tomorrow, near 80 for Wednesday. Busy the next couple of days with our alert days, but it is improving for Oaks and Derby Day before we launch into cooler temperatures on Saturday, followed by a week of 70s and 80s and, yeah, some dry time next week. That's our 10-day earliest alert.
Thank you, Kevin. Funny how it always works that way, right?
Yeah.
Week after Derby.
Week after Derby is looking pretty good. Thanks, Kevin.
Well, it is the concert that has the beehive buzzing. Beyonce set to kick off her highly anticipated Cowboy Carter tour tonight in L.A. as the season of summer concerts kicks into overdrive.
Kaylee Hardung is in L.A. with what to expect from tonight's show and how you might be able to combat high ticket prices on some of this summer's biggest shows.
Beyonce's rodeo is about to begin.
Hello, girls. Hello, Beyonce.
In just hours, the Cowboy Carter Tour will kick off. Not in Texas, but in Los Angeles, with the first of 5 shows at SoFi Stadium. On Sunday, the Queen Bee giving fans a glimpse of the stage where she's set to showcase her Grammy-winning album, Cowboy Carter.
I don't know what you're waiting for.
Beyonce's return to touring already has eager fans buzzing, some staking out last-minute rehearsals.
And she's rehearsing at this very moment.
She sounds so good. Oh my God. Others gearing up by breaking out their bedazzled denim and Western wear.
We clapping.
As Beyonce gets back in the saddle, other artists like Katy Perry, The Weeknd, Oasis, Bruce Springsteen, and Lady Gaga are also set to hit the road this summer. But many sky-high ticket prices have some fans fuming.
The nosebleed 600. In this economy, Beyonce!
Some also frustrated after seeing prices on Ticketmaster drop for certain shows weeks after first going on sale.
Note to self, I'm not buying during a presale ever again.
Ticketmaster did not respond to our request for comment. It comes as lawmakers renew calls for Congress to pass the Boss and Swift Act, named after Bruce Springsteen and Taylor Swift, whose fans have had bad blood with the ticketing giant since sales for her record-breaking Eras tour went awry.
The website fully crashed.
If passed, the bill would limit so-called junk fees and prohibit sellers from changing prices during the purchase process. But the lack of new regulations hasn't kept the beehive from swarming.
I think at the bottom line, fans are looking forward to see Beyonce, and whatever changes and frustrations that might come with that, they're still willing to foot the bill.
And while Beyonce's Renaissance tour made a stop here in Louisville, we did not make the list for the Cowboy Carter tour. Bummer. We'll be right back. We've got the rundown on some of the celebs that are expected to attend the 36th Barnstable Brown Kentucky Derby Gala Eve event, and that list includes musical guests like Machine Gun Kelly and Dierks Bentley, to former Green Bay Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers. Other notable names include Simone Biles, Tracy Morgan, and Wilmer Valderrama. The gala has raised more than $21 million for the Barnstable Brown Diabetes Center at UK, and we're going to have live coverage from the red carpet Friday night on our Night at the Galas special.
It'll be a lot of fun.
Yes, it is.
All right. Well, we want to thank you for joining us here today for Wave News at 5. Wave News at 6 is coming your way.